Perry and TV host Gail King.
I walked out of there thinking, gosh, I can do anything. I can do anything. And when you get out and they say, welcome home, never felt and sounded so good.
The crew spent around 10 minutes in space before returning to Earth. America's listening to Fox News.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast. Clear skies this evening with a low of 68. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Tomorrow's high 88. Mainly clear tomorrow night with a low of 68. For your Wednesday, it'll be breezy with clouds breaking at times for some sunshine. We'll reach a high Wednesday of 85 to 91. Increasingly windy Thursday with clouds and sun. Thursday, we'll see a high of 88 to 95. I'm AccuWeather's Drew Shannon on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
News Talk 710 KURV. News and weather information at your fingertips.
There was only one place to get the information I needed.
Log on to KURV.com.
It's a great Monday afternoon here at 710 KURV. Thanks for joining us, making us a part of your 956 drive home. I'm Zach Cantu along with the living legend Davis Rankin. You're home for Houston Astros baseball on the road against the St. Louis Cardinals. And we'll join that broadcast at 7 p.m. You're home for Houston Astros baseball. News Talk 710 KURV, made possible by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women and Mission Economic Development Corporation. We now begin our coverage of the McAllen City Commission races. We're starting with District Number 1. Tim Wilkins running for that spot here today. We welcome him as he joins us now. So for the people that aren't familiar with Mr. Tim Wilkins, what can you tell us about him?
Hi, well, thanks for having me today. Name's Tim Wilkins. I was born and raised here. First graduating class of Nicky Rowe High School in McAllen. Run my businesses here, a property tax consulting firm. I've got 3 children. Wife runs the business with me, and running for city commission just to try to, move the city forward. Be a voice of energy and vision to kind of address the threats and challenges that I think we have ahead. So we are, proactive in dealing with these things instead of reactive and maybe missing the boat on certain things.
Let's talk about that. What are 3 big things that you feel McAllen is facing right now that you can do something about in McAllen City Commission?
The low-hanging fruit, the first one that's been the subject of my mailer and a lot of the campaign talk is traffic flow, intersections, and just kind of basic city services. So, there's some core intersections around town, especially in my district, that are very poorly designed, in need of being redone, and it wastes people's time, and time is money. And we need, the city's core job is to make sure those things function appropriately. And they've got a $750 million budget. So it's not like the city doesn't have the resources to get these things, corrected and in play. There's other situations around a lot of our schools are buttressed with city parks, and those parks don't have brick and mortar restrooms. They have porta potties. We take our kids to practices in a lot of these locations, and if you've got to use the restroom, oftentimes you've got to leave, and if you do, you can't wash your hands. It's just it's something that ought not to be of going concern with the budget the size that they have and the quality of a city that we try to run. Big picture kind of a thing is Bowie Reservoir, which is along the expressway by the mall. And it's about a 70-acre piece of land that you're probably used to driving by seeing full of water. They had a federal grant to relocate it south of the airport, which they did. But now that that reservoir has now been decommissioned, and it's going to be, for better or for worse, the largest real estate development project that McAllen has been involved in pretty much ever. And if they don't do it correctly with an appropriate tenant mix and an appropriate design, it's going to be something that impacts us for the next several decades, and it can be good or bad. Right now, they've been very reluctant to share public information with me that I've requested about who's moving the dirt, the costs of moving the dirt, what direction they're going with how they're going to develop it. And I think if they're doing the right thing, it ought to be something that ought to be up for public discussion, and people ought to be able to provide input on, instead of just finding out, hey, here's what we did, whether you like it or not. This is just what we're going to do. I think that's where we get into problems. That's an ongoing thing that's happening right now. And those are the two biggies. Third would be, our tax base and business support. Um, if you look around certain areas of town or surrounding areas, for example, Top Golf is getting ready to close. And when Top Golf came around, they were pretty astute business people, and they went to these cities and asked for incentives. Well, McAllen goes, "Hey, we'd love to have you locate here. We'll give you benefits of X." And then they go to Edinburgh, and hey, McAllen's willing to give us X. What will you do? Well, we'll give you X plus two. And then they go to far. Edinburgh's giving us this. McAllen's willing to give us this. What will you do? We'll give you X plus five if you just come here now. Well, FAR gave away so many incentives that when this thing closes, they're going to be at a net deficit by way of the resources they gave up to attract them versus what they got while they were here. And McAllen is doing this in a large part with what they call these 380 agreements, where they incentivize private developers to do certain things, but it comes at a cost of your sales tax revenue being given back to them, or grants or property tax abatements. And there's merit to some of it, but I don't think that there is a lot of thought or concern or care going into the impacts that those developments have against existing businesses that are capitalized differently. And so it's a big concern. But my opponent has been in office for over 34 years, and I just don't think that there is anything left that he would want to do that he couldn't have already done. And I don't think politics, local politics in particular, should be a career. And that's why I'm throwing myself out there to be kind of a fresh voice of energy and vision that I think City Hall could definitely use at this time.
Asking for your vote for McAllen City Commission District 1 is Tim Wilkins, joining us on 710 KURV. You brought up some pretty interesting issues. What tools do you have in your skill set that would help you move towards some positive results concerning these things?
So I've been on a variety of different boards, in a volunteer capacity. And so through those activities, I've learned how to, deal with different types of personalities. I've had personal growth of my own, and how to assess problems. From a career perspective, I started a company 22 years ago with my wife that we've run successfully. And we manage a portfolio in the billions of dollars of real estate in Hidalgo and Cameron County. And through that, I have a very detailed grasp of how things are functioning, how different inputs and stresses affect different segments of real estate, for hospitality, restaurant, bar, residential, all those things. And I really think that with our geographical region and then the temperament of the federal government, with us being so close to Mexico and being right on the border, we've got a lot of opportunities that we can capitalize on if we play our cards right. And at the same time that these opportunities are present, you're going to have cities like El Paso, Laredo, Brownsville trying to compete for the same things. And so it's going to kind of be the first person that gets to the chair is going to take the seat. And we just need to be proactive in it, as opposed to finding out what great things these other cities are doing and saying, "Oh man, I wish we would have done that ourselves." So that involves leveraging state and federal relationships to just get money here, and lots of money is going to be available for commerce, for border security, all types of things, and the region would benefit from those efforts. And I don't think, I mean, it's being pursued at this point. I don't think it's being pursued as aggressively as it could or should be. And I propose to do that.
Tim Wilkins is running for McAllen City Commission District 1, joining us on 710 KURV. And for people that want to get more information about what you're about and some of the issues that you want to present for the community, where can they find more information on that?
Yeah, so I appreciate that. So I could literally talk for a couple hours of different topics of concern, but the website is called timmakessense.com. And sense is either CENTS like pennies or SENSE like Tim Makes Sense. On there is kind of a mirror image of what the social media profiles, what I'm posting by way of content. And you can go through and read all the different concerns. A lot of the things are just concepts or ideas that I throw out because I'm not trying to say that I've got an agenda or whatever I say is, law. It's just my 2 cents, which means it's supposed to spark a conversation. I might be on point. I might need to pivot a little bit, but through constructive and critical conversation, we can dial these ideas in and get to the right spot. And I think that type of dialogue is what's lacking right now, and it's what we need really at this point. So all I ask is that you just inform yourself, read about the issues that I'm talking about on the website. If you have a concern, reach out to me. I'm available. I'm more than happy to talk, and also review what my opponent's discussing and compare those two and decide for yourself which version of person you would want as a guiding hand in McAllen City Hall.
The website one more time.
Tim Makes Sense. TIMMAKESCENTS.com, or Sense, the SENSE. You can also, there's multiple links that populate to that. McAllendistrict1.com will take you there if that's easier to remember. The campaign phone is 956-777-TIM-W. It's 777-TIM-W. That goes directly to me. Send me a text and I'll reach out and reply within minutes. And just, all I can participate. All I need you to do is participate.
All right, Tim. Thanks a lot for spending some time with us this afternoon. Appreciate it. That's Tim Wilkins asking for your vote for McAllen City Commission District 1, joining us on News Talk 710 KURV.
Few minutes, top of the hour news with Fox News Radio.
That okay?
For the latest headlines. News Talk 710 KURV.
If you're looking for
Haven't been live in a while.
authentic Mexican cuisine and a gathering place for families,
I
your
feel like I was
family,
talking too much.
create those cherished memories. Zamora's Restaurants, your place. I should say your place is. There's 3 of them, 2 in McAllen, 1 in Edinburgh, with daily specials that will tantalize your taste buds in a warm, inviting atmosphere, great service, great prices, terrific food. Zamora stands out as an ideal destination for you if you're looking for a delightful dining experience, and who's not? Each day, the menu showcases a unique combination of ingredients that respect authentic recipes and respect authentic South Texas, Tex-Mex, Mexican food flavors, while allowing for a little, innovation from time to time. You'll know about that ahead of time. From wonderful mouth-watering tacos to fajita, mole poblano, which is, if you don't know, a chocolate-based sauce that makes every meal a special. It is so good. It'll make you want to eat more. So, 3 easy-to-find locations in McAllen and Edinburgh. Zamora's Restaurants going to become your favorite place to go, whether to celebrate something, to entertain guests from out of town, or just to relax and have a nice meal and forget about the cares of the days. Zamora's Restaurants, McAllen and Edinburgh, for that authentic South Texas Tex-Mex Mexican food.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is your news, weather, and talk station. News Talk 710 KURV and KURV.com.
News Talk 710 KURV.
Zach Cantu, Davey Do, and you. It's your 956 drive home on News Talk 710 KURV. Davey Do. Don't get up just yet.
Is my broker calling?
Oh, well, thank you for taking phone calls during the show, Davey.
I didn't tell him to call now.
You be sure to tell him that you have available time between 4 to 6 every day
I could
for
have
all
said
your
it's your
phone
mother
calls.
calling me, but I didn't. What you need?
Please, she's out of your league, Davey. This is, what do you think about, well, you see, now we don't have time to get to the thing I wanted to get to.
A man who loves his mother.
I wanted to
dislike
talk
a man who
about,
loves his
I
mother?
wanted to talk about Donald Trump and making showers great again, but I don't think we have the time here. Do you care about the shower heads Do you have
Yes.
Do you have a low flow shower head?
I don't think so. I don't know how we got what we got. I'm not going to rat out the plumber, but no, it's not. I hate low flow. I insist that you use more water with low flow than you do with the regular.
I'm not going to lie. We're in a drought scenario. I'm looking for low flow shower heads, but I took out the inhibitor thingy inside the one that I had bought, and I feel bad for it. I'm going to buy a new one. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV or 956 Drive Home.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
History's unfolding, and you're listening to it on News Talk 710 KURV, Edinburgh, McAllen, Harlingen, Brownsville.
This is a Fox News alert, guilty of murder. I'm Lisa Lacera. After deliberating for less than an hour and a half, a jury in Maryland has found Victor Martinez Hernandez, a man from El Salvador in the U.S., illegally guilty in the rape and murder of Rachel Morin, a Maryland mom who was killed while out for a run near Baltimore 2 years ago.
Martinez Hernandez did not take the stand in his own defense. Prosecutors rested last week after calling several witnesses and introducing a finding of Martinez Hernandez's DNA on Morin's body.
Fox's Gernal Scott, when he's sentenced, Martinez Hernandez could face life in prison without parole. This as President Trump welcomed a key Latin American ally to the Oval Office, where he was asked about a Maryland man wrongly deported to his country.
U.S. officials say it's up to El Salvador to decide whether to return Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the U.S. The country's president, Nayib Bukele, says he won't do that.
The question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
Bukele spoke about the case during an Oval Office visit with President Trump. In court filings, the Justice Department concedes it mistakenly included Abrego Garcia on a deportation flight last month, but argues the migrant living illegally in Maryland is a member of the MS-13 gang. A Supreme Court ruling partially upheld a lower court order requiring the U.S. to facilitate his return.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The suspect in the arson at Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's home is being treated at a hospital after a medical event. Authorities say Cody Balmer had planned to beat Shapiro with a hammer. Police say Balmer was harboring hatred towards Shapiro. The fire caused significant damage to the home, but no one was hurt. Wall Street stocks rose after President Trump eased some tariffs. The Dow gained 312, the Nasdaq added 107. America is listening to Fox News.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
A bond hearing in Texas for a 17-year-old accused of murdering another teen at a track meet.
17-year-old Carmelo Anthony's bond has been reduced from $1 million to $250,000. The judge also putting him on house arrest as he awaits trial in the murder of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf during a track meet between their schools. In Frisco, Texas, April 2nd, witnesses tell police that the two students got into a fight over where the suspect was sitting when Anthony pulled out a knife and stabbed the unarmed Metcalf in the heart. He died in his twin brother's arms. Anthony is charged with first-degree murder. A GoFundMe account for the accused killer has raised over $400,000. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams is in the Dominican Republic to pay respects to the 231 people who died when a roof of a popular nightclub collapsed last week. Adams met first with police and other local authorities, then visited the site. About 700,000 Dominicans live in New York City. Adams, who had bribery charges against him thrown out, is preparing to run for mayor as an independent. 6 women, including a pop star and a TV host, are safely back on Earth following a short suborbital space flight. 2, 1, ignition.
Recording artist Katy Perry and television personality Gayle King were among the crew of 6 women who now call themselves astronauts following a 10.5-minute up and down flight to space aboard one of Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin rockets. Just some of their shrieking and whooping. Katy Perry kissed the ground upon exiting the capsule in Texas.
I mean, it is the highest high, and it is surrender to the unknown.
Perry and King were joined by Bezos' fiancée Lauren Sanchez, scientist Aisha Bowe, filmmaker Carrie Ann Flynn, and civil rights advocate Amanda Wynn.
Fox's Evan Brown. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast. Clear skies this evening with a low of 68. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Tomorrow's high 88. Mainly clear tomorrow night with a low of 68. For your Wednesday, it'll be breezy with clouds breaking at times for some sunshine. We'll reach a high Wednesday of 85 to 91. Increasingly windy Thursday with clouds and sun. Thursday, we'll see a high of 88 to 95. I'm AccuWeather's Drew Shannon on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Hey everybody, Charlie Kirk here. Numbers don't lie. The impact that Balance of Nature makes every day is astounding. You can see the numbers for yourself on their website at balanceofnature.com. Listen to these stats concerning Balance of Nature's worldwide success. More than 1,000 success stories reported each month, hundreds of thousands of customers worldwide, millions of orders delivered each year, and billions, yes, billions of fruits and veggies, supplements consumed by people who decided to start living better. There's only one number missing, and that's you. Do what I did and add yourself to those numbers. Start taking Balance of Nature's whole food supplements like so many others around the world. Here's another number that should get your attention, 35%. Use my discount code Charlie for 35% off plus free shipping and get their money back guarantee. You must use discount code Charlie. Call them at 800-2468-751 or use discount code Charlie or order online at balanceofnature.com. Use discount code Charlie to get 35% off plus free shipping. Balanceofnature.com.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic, available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com or at your local CVS.
Feel the surge on the Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez. Weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk 710 KURV, KURV.com, and on the Radio Potami app. From the KURV Broadcast Center, this is the 956 Drive Home.
All right, we're doing this. Put on your seatbelt, check your mirrors. Let's begin.
Buckle up and get ready to talk about today's headlines and topics important to you. Here's Zach Cantu and Davis Rankin.
It's a great Monday afternoon here at 710 KURV. This is your 956 Drive Home. I am the man-bunned monologuer, the tactician of toxicity. Zach Cantu, along with the living legend Davis Rankin. On the program today, tariffs. What happened over the past 4 days? We'll get you caught up on that with Tim Snyder from Matador Economics. Plus, I'm actually going to make some time to talk about the shower thing, Davey. My best ideas come from my time in the shower, by the
What's your water bill like?
More than it should be, not gonna lie, because I took out the little inhibitor regulator thingy inside of the shower head that I got.
Probably illegal, I think.
That might be illegal.
You may be able to take part of your water bill off your taxes as a work-related expense.
But isn't it a wash? No pun intended. Isn't it kind of a wash though? Like if I take a faster shower with the higher rate of flow, doesn't it kind of want
I would think, yeah.
They cancel each other out.
It takes so long with low flow. It takes so long to get everything wet and then to get the soap. If you use that kind of soap that seems to never wash off.
Oh, I hate body wash. I love the bar soap. I cannot stand body wash.
I agree with you.
Because I never feel clean with the body wash. But the Golden Commander, President Donald Trump, says, we're going to make showers great again because I love doing the shower thing with my hair. I love feeling the water through my hair. Ain't it great when you see somebody with some nice long locks just flowing in the wind like that? And I got them, baby. Long golden locks. We'll talk about that on the program. Stick around. Stay tuned. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV, your 956 Drive Home.
And now, important moments in news history.
I am pleased that my portrait brings an interesting symmetry to the White House collection. It now starts and ends with a George W. When you are wandering these halls as you wrestle with tough decisions, you'll now be able to gaze at this portrait and ask, what would George do?
This has been important moments in news history. Zach Cantu, 710 KURV.
News Talk 710 KURV captured the conversations at Rioplex. Our own Sergio Sanchez shared what this event means for the future of business and economic growth in the Rio Grande Valley. Relive all the insights on our social media platforms. We are the South Texas Pulse of Business, 710 KURV.
We're out of bottled water again.
That's nuts. I just bought a case of water last time I went shopping.
I'm not drinking tap water.
We need a better solution.
Call Culligan.
Hey, Culligan man.
Stop buying little bottles of water at the store. A Culligan drinking water system makes an almost unlimited supply of fresher, cleaner water that tastes pure. It's bottled water without the bottles. For better water, go to CulliganRGV.com or call 956-399-1780.
Easter is a time when we celebrate the resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He is the image of the invisible God, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. The Bible says that without the shedding of blood, there is no forgiveness of sin. Therefore, God offered His Son as a perfect sacrifice, as full payment for our sins. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, so that whosoever believes in Him shall not perish but have eternal life. Trust in Him as full payment for your sins today.
Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metal IRA Guide at BetterNestEgg.com. Don't leave your future to chance.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV.
Happy Monday. Glad that you joined us again this 5 o'clock hour, listening to News Talk 710 KURV. I'm Zach Cantu, along with the living legend Davis Rankin, your home for Houston Astros baseball. They're on the road against the St. Louis Cards, and we'll join that broadcast at 7 p.m. Your home for Houston Astros baseball. News Talk 710 KURV, made possible by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women and Mission Economic Development Corporation. Students at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, celebrating their fourth fourth national championship in chess. The UTRGV team was named co-champions at the President's Cup competition earlier this month. The team also won championships in 2018, 2019, and 2021. They'll be recognized at halftime of the UTRGV spring football game this Thursday. You know what, Davey? You know what this reminds me of?
No.
You know when they would loop everybody in and stuff them into the gym for the pep rallies for the football games? This is like the inverse of that. This is like justice for the chess club.
Oh.
Because the chess club never gets pep rallies. You know what I mean? One time, I remember I think the soccer team was going to state or something like that, and they got a pep rally. That was the only pep rally they got. But it was like, oh, every week, yeah, it's our football team against the other football team. Did they win last time? Well, maybe no, not really. But this time they'll really get them. Yeah, let's cancel first period and everybody go into the gym.
No one's going to complain that they didn't.
What?
The chess people aren't going to call attention to themselves. They don't want the football players beating up on them, probably.
Well, that's why I'm saying this is justice. So the football players have to, yield some time to the chess club.
I'm surprised the soccer guys didn't get
because they are national champions. Congratulations, UTRGV chess team.
Yes.
South Texas Furniture Store is offering free mattresses to families affected by recent flooding. Lax Furniture will be giving away 200 queen-size mattresses later this week. Those that get selected get a voucher that can be used at Lax locations in McAllen, Harlingen, or Brownsville, and the application for that giveaway must be turned in before midnight tonight. A Texas Senate bill to create a Homeland Security Division within the Department of Public Safety now goes to the State House of Representatives. The Senate approved Senate Bill 36 on Thursday by a vote of 26-4. The proposed agency would focus on immigration enforcement, organized crime, and security threats to the state's infrastructure. Oh, that's going to be a big one in the coming years, Davey Do. If enacted into law, the bill would make the state's immigration enforcement efforts a permanent part of the Texas criminal justice system. The guy that's been the triumphant lieutenant governor of the mighty Republic of Texas wants to be triumphant one more time. Dan Patrick says he's in the running for a fourth term, and he made it official on Friday, bragging about his endorsement from President Donald Trump, the Golden Commander. His campaign will kick off at the end of the current legislative session. Tech giant NVIDIA out with plans to build manufacturing plants in Texas that will, for the first time, produce domestically made artificial intelligence supercomputers. They'll be in Houston and in Dallas. Production at both plants, they say, is expected to ramp up in the next year, and they say it will create hundreds of thousands of jobs and drive trillions of dollars in economic security over the coming decades. Which reminds me, we need to talk about power, Davey, because we're telling all these people to come to Texas, and if it gets hot, and we're dealing with AI, and we're dealing with crypto, and we're dealing with all the people from California who saw the light and decided Texas is the place to go. We need to be able to power all of these buildings, facilities, homes, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying we need to check up on how ERCOT is doing. Hopefully this week, if not next week.
Maybe we should all buy those generators that are always sell during hurricane season.
Ah, that's not bad.
Just an idea,
That's not a bad idea. Always be prepared. Whether you have faith in the grid or not, it's always a good idea to be prepared.
True.
The growing cost of childcare taking a huge chunk out of families' budgets. This is San Antonio State Rep Ray Lopez calling for a deep dive into that issue.
At the end of the day, all children, regardless of their background, deserve quality and affordable childcare. This study is a step towards that universally agreed to upon goal.
It says the high cost of daycare is making it difficult for those with lower incomes to remain in the workforce. A study by the Economic Policy Institute shows that roughly 1 in 4 Texas families have access to affordable childcare. Anecdotally,
how do we know what's affordable?
Anecdotally, I have a cousin.
That's
and
nice.
I'm gonna keep this in general.
That's nice.
As general as vaguely as I can.
Okay. What's their first name?
So here's my cousin has a good paying job, right? We're talking, let's say 6 figures here.
Ooh.
And the person that he is partnered up with had a job at a, how do I say this? It's a city job. It's a city job. Part of the upper echelons of
Good
the
health
city
benefits.
job, right?
Yeah.
So these guys are well off, decently well off, better than average. It was cheaper for them. They just had a baby. It was cheaper for them to have one of them quit their job to take care of their child, their newborn, than to shell out for childcare.
Even though they're making
Yes, a
crazy.
nice amount of money. It was cheaper for them to quit their job and have somebody stay at home than it was to afford childcare.
Well, but maybe they should give up their country club membership. That would help them afford childcare.
Yeah, these aren't country club guys. Trust me.
All right, well, that was a setup. That was a T-ball setup.
Thank you, David. But that just goes to show you. I mean, how expensive is it that it's cheaper to quit your job? It's cheaper to lose money than it is to pay somebody that money to take care of your kid.
Here's what always bugs me, and it's not going to do any good, but I'm going to get it off my chest. When they say high quality, affordable health care, it's a mantra. Like, no, I don't care about the quality. I just don't want to pay very much. So if like you got roaches running around, the food's contaminated, and everybody's smoking weed, so they're not watching my kid, that's okay because I can afford that price. But I mean, of course, everybody wants high quality childcare. That's a given. and I don't want to pay too much for it. That's a given too.
Do I want to pay for childcare, or do I want to give my kid to Uncle Chavo to look after for the Theo Chavo?
If he's Uncle Chavo, then yes. However, I think it's better for males not to be involved in childcare without somebody watching.
I can just picture somebody on the front porch with a case of Bud Light and just, hey, get away from that thing. You're going to hurt yourself.
Joey's stereotyping.
Oh, man. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV, your 956 drive home. Coming up next on the program, let's get caught up on tariffs. There's been a lot going on in the tariff world the past few days. Tim Snyder from Matador Economics will get us caught up coming up after this. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV.
News Talk 710 KURV, the pulse of Valley Business. Your source for the latest business headlines, expert insights, and all things shaping the Rio Grande Valley's economy. Stay informed. Stay connected. News Talk 710 KURV.
Dr. T's Primary Care, drtsprimarycare.com. If you are looking to improve your overall health, enjoy a better quality of life, Dr. T's Primary Care is the first step in the right direction. They're experts, absolutely know what they're doing. They've been doing this for a while. They know exactly what to look at, where to look at, and the exact direction they need to send you in to enjoy that better quality of life. Whether you're feeling tired or stressed or moody, or if you have some different weight goals than the weight that you're at right now, Dr. T's Primary Care can help you with all of those things. They'll evaluate you and they'll work with you too, because I mean, I've got some crazy things going on in my life, right? Like I'm working out the six days a week, and I'm doing the crazy 1 meal a day carnivore diet. And admittedly, it's a point of contention, but we're negotiating. I'm meeting them halfway. You know what I mean? They also have services for men and women in primary care, from the sniffles to the flu, low testosterone, menopause treatment, peptide treatment, and IV vitamin infusions. Give them a call. McAllen area, 956-803-0058. And in Harlingen, 956-368-5247. DrT'sPrimaryCare.com. DrT'sPrimaryCare.com.
Hey, is it just me, or are there way more ducks in the office than usual?
Hadn't noticed, but now that you mention it, this is quite a lot of ducks.
What are they doing here?
Oh, they heard Mighty Mike now offers duct cleaning.
Yeah, but that's not ducks, it's ducts.
Yeah, you want to tell them that? You'll have one serious quack attack on your hands.
What's your plan?
Embrace it. I call the one in the shower cap Sir Duckworth.
Yep, Mighty Mike now offers duct cleaning. Call 956-686-1353 for big savings on your next bill. You know we had to do it.
Look for us online at callmightymike.com.
Teclo Garcia, Mission Economic Development.
Hi, Tim. Is that you?
That's the reason why you're like slow, because you're not just installing.
Tim, can you hear me?
Yeah. But you don't know what's if somebody left the hamburger.
Okay, there you are. Stand by.
All right.
Sidewalk, and you're like, wow, that looks really good. But you don't know what's in it. You don't know who left it there, why it's there.
And contact the Mission Economic Development Corporation to start your business in Mission at missionedc.com. Your mission starts here.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Our video interview tool makes it easy and effortless to meet with candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC. McAllen Mission.
KONDA, happy Monday. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV, your 956 drive home. I'm Zach Cantu, along with the living legend Davis Rankin. You're home for Houston Astros baseball up against the St. Louis Cards tonight at 7. We'll be joining that broadcast, made possible by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women and Mission Economic Development Corporation. Let's talk tariffs, right? That's been the talk of the town for the past several days. Tim Snyder from Matador Economics joining us now. Where do we stand on the whole China thing? Explain this to me. The past 4 or 5 days, I've been kind of trying to make heads or tails out of this.
Good afternoon. It's good to be with you guys. I got to tell you, this has been the most convoluted mess of anything I've ever seen in my life. But, you know, we started last week and we started escalating those tariffs against the Chinese on a number of things. And of course, the U.S. went to 105%. And then when the United States went to 125%, China went to 85%. Then the U.S. decided we needed to toughen the pain just a little bit. We raised the pain threshold to 145% on Chinese goods coming into the United States. And China reciprocated by adding more tariffs and went up to 125% on everything that's coming out of China into the United States. We have one basic problem with that, and that is that China imports into the United States about 4 times as many goods in dollar value as does the United States into China. So we've got a sticky wicket going on. Today, the president announced he's probably going to hold off on tariffs on semiconductors, those kinds of things, cell phones, some electronics, and those things. But he cautioned that this may be short-lived, and that's kind of where we're standing right now. There's some other strategy things going on as well.
Yeah, 2 things. I saw online that if you were going to buy an iPhone, now is the best time to do it because Apple, I think they had bought in bulk ahead of the tariffs in anticipation of the tariffs. And so now they're going to be sitting on a bunch of stock. That's what I saw. I don't know how true that would be. But the other thing is since China is such a large producer of these types of tech goods, does it kind of take the teeth out of the tariffs that these things are kind of being exempt from it?
I think it does, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that. If that was going to be our approach at the beginning, it would have been a better negotiating tactic, to start that way, but we didn't. And we're kind of, the allergy stuff up here is going crazy in Dallas. It's going across the board. There's just so many things that are happening. I am a little concerned right now, though, guys, in that Xi Jinping has just kicked off a tour into Southeast Asia. He's trying to maybe buy off or bribe off some of the manufacturing that is not Chinese but is in Southeast Asia. For instance, one of the countries that we have that's in our list of 10 countries we're about to sign a trade deal with is Vietnam, and we don't want to see that happen.
Joining us on 710 KURV from Matador Economics is Tim Snyder. David, do your question. Go ahead.
If he were to call you up this evening and say, "Hey, what do I do?" And he's not going to admit that maybe he should have done it.
Tim,
what would you tell him?
You've got a big brain, not as big as mine, but still pretty substantial. I could use some extra ideas. Throw those around here.
Some extra ones. Yeah.
What would you tell me?
You know, I would tell you this. I would say this. I think the issue that we're dealing with right now is Messaging is a bit of a problem. You can't let the left control your message. You have to be concise. We need to make sure that maybe we're hearing in this interim period where we're negotiating with there's 75 countries that are right now in the process of negotiating with the United States of America. And the ones that are close to having a deal, the 10 that are close to having a deal, I want to hear one voice. I don't want to hear 3 different opinions from different voices. I want to hear one voice. So I would tell the president, what I would do here is I would have no announcements going forward and say, until we have a deal made, and then I'll give you the deal and what's going on here. We'll make some decisions. We may back off just a little bit on cell phones, but if it does not get the desired effect, that will create more problems down the road, and we may revisit the tariffs on those specific products. The next thing that I would tell him is this, is that we need to get the European Union committed to quickly if they're going to do something. There was a news story that broke today that actually the first call was not to the United States from the European Union. It was China to ask if they could find a deal and find a way to work around the United States tariffs. These are problems. These are policy issues that need to be settled and handled before this gets out to the press as something that it's a done deal.
Joining us on 710 KURV, Tim Snyder from Matador Economics. And you talk about one voice, right? And we have this messaging, or we should have this messaging as one voice from the United States to China, that they need to shape up the current deal that we've got, the current situation, or else the tariffs are going to go up. And you got people like Elizabeth Warren, who is
wash your mouth out.
I know I'm going to have to consume the entire bar of soap now that I've mentioned her name, Pocahontas. She wasn't on the same page. I'll just put it that way. I forgot to ask you, Joe. Can Tim hear the audio if I play it off this computer? All right. This is Elizabeth Warren earlier.
Investors will not invest in the United States when Donald Trump is playing red light, green light with tariffs.
There's some truth to that, probably.
Do you agree with Pocahontas?
You put him in a bind.
Yeah.
He can't agree with her.
Yeah, I hate to say this,
disruptive to have these backseat drivers is what I'm trying to get at. Is it disruptive to have these backseat drivers coming out and saying that's not a good idea? We don't condone this.
It's the old adage, that sometimes even the devil can say something that would be the words of the Lord, and
there's a man raised in church right there. I can hear it.
Amen.
We're talking about Elizabeth Warren here. Wow. Love that.
Hallelujah.
I don't think I grew before a fall myself.
Yes. Well, and unfortunately, that is exactly what could happen here. And ill intent is sometimes using somebody's words that they've said back against them. And a lot of times that is what Elizabeth Warren is known for. And unfortunately, that's part of the messaging issue that we need. We must control our message if we're going to be effective in making these tariffs negotiating tools. And that's the key here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That was, that was Elizabeth Warren on CNN State of the Union talking about the tariffs. I have to mention that. Sorry for copyright reasons, but but yes, we need to have a better. I really wish that we didn't have this back and forth red team versus blue team dichotomy going all the time, right? Especially on issues like this, because I can't imagine that Xi Jinping in China is how do I say this? Scared when Elizabeth Warren is constantly trying to pull the rug out from President Trump on the tariffs.
He's probably happy. Dissension in your opponent's ranks is a good thing.
No, exactly. That's exactly what I'm getting at. But so where do we go from here on tariffs, Tim Snyder? How do we looking forward? What do you think that we can expect coming in the coming week here?
Better organization, I think, will happen, and I think we don't have leaks on what the negotiated deal is going to be with these 10 countries that are about ready to announce. I want to see some consolidation here. I want to see managed control of the legacy media and what goes on here. I want the words to come out of Donald Trump's mouth not even his press secretary. I want to see Donald Trump make the announcements and do the things that we need to do. You cannot trust Xi Jinping, and you cannot trust his motives with what he is attempting to do in Southeast Asia and what he will attempt to do. Trust me when I tell you this, what he'll be attempting to do in the European Union. We must be very careful there.
Is it safe to say this is kind of like a game of chicken, and you don't need backseat drivers like Elizabeth Warren kind of trying to send the message that we're not very confident in this gambit that we've displayed?
Very fair. I think that's a very good analogy. We are playing chicken. The difference is we got one gear. Everybody else has got different gears, and they can use those against us. We have one gear, and that is all the way to the floor.
All right. What's happening at the newsletter, Tim, at Matador Economics?
Been busy, I'm telling you, with all the changes that go on every single day with the tariffs. It's been something that's been kind of crazy. I'm watching big energy right now. I'm watching what's going on with regards to production. The fact that Baker Hughes rig count came out on Friday and it's still not moving into drill, baby, drill. And there is some reticence in the marketplace from big oil, in that it's not that they're hesitant to do that, but they've been in transition since 2016 when President Trump came into office, 2020 when President Biden came into office, 2024 when President Trump came into office. We've got a lot of issues we're dealing with here, and we just, I'm focused on that. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow.
All right. Yeah. Well, we need to bring you back on to talk about that whole oil and gas thing. Yeah, because it does take time to ramp everything back up again. Thanks a lot, Tim Snyder at Matador Economics. Check out the newsletter, matadoreconomics.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV.
Thanks, guys.